They're coming to get you, Barbara.
The zombie. Without remorse and pity, driven by hunger, and damn near impossible to put down permanently. There have been times since their introduction into movies in the 1930s where it felt like we'd never see a zombie movie ever again. Then there are eras of the opposite, where you couldn't stick your arm out in a multiplex without a shambling ghoul nearby, ready to chomp. And since we've been in feast mode over the last decade plus, we're taking a big bite with our guide to some of the best zombie movies you need to watch. While zombie movies have been around for more than 80 years, it's commonly accepted that the subgenre, as we know it today, didn't rise until 1968, when George A. Romero unleashed Night of the Living Dead. This independent film enthralled audiences with its mysterious plot, shocking gore, progressive casting, and social commentary. Oh, and there's also the unforgettable hordes of the gaunt, hungry undead. Romero was crowned the godfather of zombies, and he went on to make 5 more Dead movies.
Say hello to your Aunt Alicia. Say hello, Aunt Alicia. Hello, Aunt Alicia. Hello.
Now, despite Romero's efforts, it would still be a long shuffle into the early 2000s before zombies would break out of the horror niche and crawl all over pop culture. The success of the Resident Evil video games revealed an audience appetite hitherto untapped, inspiring a gushing font of zombie movies released between 2000 and 2005. Now, we got to see the true versatility of the zombie movie. There was the loving spoofery of Shaun of the Dead, gritty filmmaking with 28 Days Later, the micro-budget one cut of the Dead, and zombies even found their way into found footage with Wreck. So with all of that, it is time to use your brains and dig deep as we count down the best zombie movies ever made. Number 10, The Return of the Living Dead. When four-man Frank shows new employee Freddy a secret military experiment in a supply warehouse, the two klutzes accidentally release a gas that reanimates corpses into flesh-eating zombies. As the epidemic spreads throughout Louisville, Kentucky, and the creatures satisfy their hunger in gory and outlandish ways, Frank and Freddy fight to survive with the help of their boss and a mysterious mortician. Starring Clu Gulager, James Karen, Tom Matthews, and directed by Dan O'Bannon. Critics say, a punk take on the zombie genre, The Return of the Living Dead injects a healthy dose of 80s silliness to the flesh-consuming.
God, my skin's really burning.
Hey, Tina!
Oh, God! Help me!
That's Tina.
That's
Through that door! Watch the
Number 9, Dead Alive. Overprotective mother Vera Cosgrove, spying on her grown son Lionel as he visits the zoo with the lovely Paquita, is accidentally bitten by the fearsome Sumatran rat monkey. When the bite turns his beloved mother into a zombie, Lionel tries to keep her locked safely in the basement, but her repeated escapes turn most of the neighbors into the Walking Dead, who then crash a high society party thrown by Lionel's boorish Uncle Les. Starring Timothy Baum, Diana Peña-Alver, Elizabeth Moody, and directed by Peter Jackson. Critics say the delightfully gonzo tale of a love-struck teen and his zombified mother, Dead Alive is extremely gory and exceedingly good fun, thanks to Peter Jackson's affection for the tastelessly sublime.
¡Madre de Dios!
Run, Paquita!
Number 8, Re-Animator. A medical student brings his headless professor back from the dead with a special serum. Starring Jeffrey Combs, Bruce Abbott, Barbara Crampton, and directed by Stuart Gordon. Critics say, perfectly mixing humor and horror, the only thing more effective than Re-Animator's gory scares are its dry, deadpan jokes.
Herbert. 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 You hear that sound? West! West! West, what is that?
Number 7, Wreck. A reporter and her cameraman record the horrifying outbreak of a disease that turns humans into vicious cannibals. Starring Manuela Velasco, Pablo Russo, Martha Carbonell, and directed by Juame Balaguero and Paco Plaza. Critics say plunging viewers into the nightmarish hellscape of an apartment complex under siege, Wreck proves that found footage can still be used as an effective delivery mechanism for sparse, economic horror.
Conchita. Conchita, tranquila. Por favor, por favor. Hombre. Tranquila, la policía ya está aquí.
Pablo, ten cuidado a ver si nos van a echar.
Vale,
sí. Puto caso, Pablo, sigue grabando.
No para.
Dejar de grabar ya.
Perdón, lo siento, ya está. Está aquí.
Envíen una ambulancia inmediatamente. Sí, estarán en primero derecha. Muy bien. Es urgente, por favor. Muy urgente. Enseguida la ayudaremos. Enseguida vendrá una ambulancia y la llevaremos al hospital. No se preocupe, señora. Sergio, despéjame esto, joder. Mientras llegue la ambulancia, no quiero ver a nadie por aquí. Oye,
Number 6, 28 Days Later. A group of misguided animal rights activists free a caged chimp infected with the rage virus from a medical research lab. When London bike courier Jim wakes up from a coma a month after, he finds his city all but deserted. On the run from the zombie-like victims of the rage, Jim stumbles upon a group of survivors, including Selena and cab driver Frank, and joins them on a perilous journey to what he hopes will be safety. Starring Cillian Murphy, Naomi Harris, Brendan Gleeson, and directed by Danny Boyle. Critics say, kinetically directed by Danny Boyle, 28 Days Later is both a terrifying zombie movie and a sharp political allegory.
I'll start working on them then.
Fight! Fight! Selena!
It's clear.
Mr. Bridges.
Where you been?
This is daughter. They live 4 doors down.
Were you bitten? Oh. Did any of the blood get in your mouth? No. Mark?
Number 5, Zombieland. After a virus turns most people into zombies, the world's surviving humans remain locked in an ongoing battle against the hungry undead. 4 survivors, Tallahassee and his cohorts Columbus, Wichita, and Little Rock, abide by a list of survival rules and zombie killing strategies as they make their way toward a rumored safe haven in Los Angeles. Starring Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, and directed by Ruben Fleischer. Critics say wickedly funny and featuring plenty of gore. Zombieland is proof that the zombie subgenre is far from dead.
Come on! Come get a piece of Tallahassee! Anybody hungry? Tallahassee's nice this time of year! Come on! Come on, you ugly bastard!
Number 4, Night of the Living Dead. A disparate group of individuals takes refuge in an abandoned house when corpses begin to leave the graveyard in search of fresh human bodies to devour. The pragmatic Ben does his best to control the situation, but when the reanimated bodies surround the house, the other survivors begin to panic. As any semblance of order within the group begins to dissipate, the zombies start to find ways inside, and one by one, the living humans become the prey of the deceased ones. Starring Judith O'Dea, Russell Striner, Dwayne Jones, and directed by George A. Romero. Critics say George A. Romero's debut set the template for the zombie film and features tight editing, realistic gore, and a sly political undercurrent.
You ready upstairs? Yeah. Okay, toss them.
Number 3, Train to Busan. A man, his estranged daughter, and other passengers become trapped on a speeding train during a zombie outbreak in South Korea. Starring Gong Yoo, Jung Yoo Mi, Kim Soo-an, and directed by Yeon Sang-ho. Critics say Train to Busan delivers a thrillingly unique and purely entertaining take on the zombie genre, with fully realized characters and plenty of social commentary to underscore the bursts of skillfully staged action.
하나. 수아, 너 여기 꼼짝 말고 잠깐 있어?
Number 2, Shaun of the Dead. Shaun is a 30-something loser with a dull, easy existence. When he's not working at the electronics store, he lives with his slovenly best friend Ed in a small flat on the outskirts of London. The only unpredictable element in his life is his girlfriend Liz, who wishes desperately for Shaun to grow up and be a man. When the town is inexplicably overrun with zombies, Shaun must rise to the occasion and protect both Liz and his mother. Starring Simon Pegg, Kate Ashfield, Nick Frost, and directed by Edgar Wright. Critics say Shaun of the Dead cleverly balances scares and witty satire, making for a bloody good zombie movie with loads of wit.
I'll have to get more stuff. What's in the shed? I don't know, it's locked. Why is it locked? It's always been locked. Well, you know, we're gonna... Oh. No, that's the second up I ever bought. No! Now, some of these are limited. Whoa, what was that? I think it was Blue Monday. Man, there was an original press out. For sake. Purple Rain. No. Sign of the Times. Definitely not. The Batman soundtrack. Throw it. Okay. Oh, Dire Straits. Throw it. Oh, Stone Roses. No. Second Coming. I like it. Oh, Sade. That's Liz's. Yeah, but she did dump you. Oh. There's some gun in the shed. You said it was locked. Which one do you want, girl or bloke? The first one.
And before we reveal number 1, here are some honorable mentions. Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. When her husband is attacked by a zombified neighbor, Anna manages to escape, only to realize her entire Milwaukee neighborhood has been overrun by the Walking Dead. Now, after being questioned by cautious policeman Kenneth, Anna joins him and a small group that gravitates to the local shopping mall as a bastion of safety. Now, once they convince suspicious security guards that they are not contaminated, the group bands together to fight the undead hordes. Starring Sarah Polley, Ving Rhames, Jake Weber, and directed by Zack Snyder. Critics say, a kinetic, violent, and surprisingly worthy remake of George Romero's horror classic that pays homage to the original while working on its own terms.
Help!
Get back, Anna. Get back!
Jesus, just tell me what's going on.
I told you to get back.
Milwaukee area. Information for following Milwaukee information for local evacuation center.
Day of the Dead. The living dead regroup above while humans sweat it out below in a Florida missile silo. Starring Laurie Cardeal, Terry Alexander, Joseph Pilato, and directed by George A. Romero. Critics say Day of the Dead may arguably be the least haunting entry in George A. Romero's Undead trilogy, but it will give audiences plenty to chew on with its shocking gore and scathing view of society. One Cut of the Dead. Real zombies attack a hack director and a film crew who are shooting a low-budget zombie film in an abandoned World War II Japanese facility. Starring Takayuki Hamatsu, Mao, Harumi Shuhama, and directed by Shinichiro Yuda. Critics say, brainy and bloody in equal measure, One Cut of the Dead reanimates the moribund zombie genre with a refreshing blend of formal daring and clever satire. And finally, number 1, Dawn of the Dead. As hordes of zombies swarm over the United States, the terrified populace tries everything in their power to escape the attack of the undead. But neither cities nor the countryside prove safe. In Pennsylvania, radio station employee Stephen and his girlfriend Francine escape in the station helicopter accompanied by 2 renegades, SWAT members Roger and Pete. The group retreats to the haven of an enclosed shopping center to make what could be humanity's last stand. Starring David Emge, Ken Foree, Galen Ross, and directed by George A. Romero. Critics say one of the most compelling and entertaining zombie films ever, Dawn of the Dead perfectly blends pure horror and gore with social commentary on material society.
Stephen, you're coming up.
And friends, that about does it for us. Be sure to stay tuned to the Rotten Tomatoes channel for more of the entertainment content you love and for even more news, scores, and recommendations on the latest TV shows and movies. Head on over to RottenTomatoes.com. Until next time, I am your host, Naz Perez, and we'll see you back here for more top 10s on the Rotten Tomatoes Countdown.